Ghost Squad came out for the Nintendo Wii in 2007. It's a port of the original arcade light gun game by the same name. You aim the Wii remote at the bad guys you want to remove from existence and fire away. As a rail shooter, you won't be dictating any of the movements your character does besides aiming. He'll go into cover on his own, peek around corners, gracefully descend while hanging upside down, and you shoot the terrorists. Every now and then you'll make a choice on what to do next, which will determine the next bit of gameplay, and there's some mini activities to perform once in a while, such as defusing a bomb, handcuffing hostages, defusing mines, and staying alive in close quarters combat, reacting fast enough to pass the QuickTime event, otherwise you'll fail and have to... Well, actually, you keep going. The same goes for getting shot in the face too many times. While the arcade original might have had a fail state or a consequence of some kind for dying, the Wii port lets you keep pressing continue without much hassle. It sort of invalidates the healing and armor pickups you can find and acquire, but if you're trying your hardest, there hopefully won't be that many deaths after a while, right? Yeah, mostly. It's not the hardest game in the world by any means, but your reflexes will have to be fairly quick to prevent incoming damage at times. While in House of the Dead and Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, every enemy on screen is a potential threat, that's not always the case for Ghost Squad. Sure, there might be terrorists firing at you 3 inches away from your face, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee you're in immediate danger. No, it's only when a target gets slapped onto their head, accompanied by a helpful audio cue, should you take them seriously. This means you're about to get hit with a real bullet, like they're locking onto your position, so you should take them out before you take damage. You'd think this would trivialize the game, being too helpful, but as soon as that warning arrives, it's already out the door. It does help, but you still have to be on your toes, anticipating it ahead of time and reacting as quickly as possible. This guy, for instance, I missed on my first 2 playthroughs, but never again. Besides the target indicator, sometimes certain terrorists will throw grenades at you, which you'll then need to shoot in the air before they explode. Pretty basic. While there always looks to be a load of enemies on screen at once, they basically all go down in a single hit, except the ones with the health bar, which usually take 2 or 3 shots. It sort of feels like whack-a-mole but with guns, and that's not a bad thing. The game is a breeze to play through, in part due to how fast you can clear out a batch of terrorists. There's only 3 missions, which might feel quite short. Well, short for a physical console game you might have paid $30 for, at least. Arcade-wise, 25 minutes for a full completion is perfect. Wait, that didn't come out right. However, even still, there's a lot more here than meets the eye. There's a surprising amount of progression in Ghost Squad, boosting replayability significantly. The original arcade version utilized IC cards, which let players save their character information and keep leveling up. It was good for 100 plays, then you had to recharge it again. Essentially, the more you played, the higher your in-game rank, which unlocked more outfits and guns to pick from. There's also an internet ranking system, which the Wii seems to have as well, but I don't care about that. I'll keep beating the high score of these no-name chumps over and over. The unlocking of weapons and skins isn't the only way Ghost Squad keeps you coming back, as there's, shockingly enough, branching paths through every mission. Heavy Rain's got nothing on this. You don't have access to all of them at the start, but even in the opening level on a first session, you'll be asked how you want to clear a room and are given 3 options. Wipe out enemy and gain control has you busting down the door and clearing the room normally. Use smoke grenade and make entry causes the room to be filled with, well, smoke, meaning you get to use your thermal goggles to see and neutralize threats. And rescue hostages floods the room with hostages for some reason. It's frankly insane. They're all standing up and waving their arms about, making it quite tricky to not accidentally nick one. Most often you'll get the choice of 2, and at the end of the level, you'll see the full extent of the multiple routes through the mission, and what possible gameplay could come about from it. Each individual either-or doesn't necessarily result in a substantially changed game or anything, but it adds up. When you're in the mood for light gun rail shooters, any excuse to jump back in is welcomed, and these variations, along with the different weapons, made me excited to play the same 3 missions over and over again. It also helps that there's a total percentage shown to you, and some scenarios have to be earned in some way. For instance, because I failed the 3rd mission in the final boss encounter my first time through, I didn't unlock the new starting branch. This meant I had to do the sniper activity again. I don't mind sniping per se, but when you realize you're basically locked down a very similar, if not identical path as before, the excitement fades a little, as you're left to go through the motions to finish up the mission. See, while I was sort of telling the truth earlier, about failure not really being something that means anything, it doesn't even affect your total score crazy enough, to unlock the next branch or scenario, you need to succeed with the newest one. Usually, I think. I can't tell specifically if certain paths open up because of the success in one of the events, or if it's simply due to the mission level going higher. Yes, that's right, even the missions themselves have level ups, another layer of progression. The 3 missions rank up individually, and get harder and more chaotic as you go. More enemies with the lock-on, some terrorists being in new places, shielded guys get introduced, and there's even some added button presses for the QTEs, like the hand-to-hand one requiring 2 inputs per block. Unlocking the branching paths and seeing more scenarios sort of became the game. I would have likely put it down after that second run, but since it showed me how much more is left to see, yeah, sure, the gameplay itself is solid enough. I get new guns every now and then to try out. Why not, right? I didn't do everything, but I'd say 10 or so run-throughs is pretty decent. I can't tell you how excited I was when I saw the Air Force One intro switch up for the first time. A stealth minigame? Oh my god! It doesn't change a whole lot, the enemies are all in their same spots, but you have to press the A button at the right time to stay undetected, so that's cool. If you fail it, an alert goes off, filling the room with flashing red lights. Neat. A lot of effort was put in to making this a game you'd want to keep coming back to. The visuals are pretty solid for a Wii port of a 2004 arcade game, the environments being the highlight. Shooting a stack of papers will send them all flying, fruit baskets are placed cheekily in the way, so you'll accidentally shoot them, watching their contents go flying, and desk chairs spin like crazy when caught in the crossfire. I haven't played every light gun rail shooter by any means, but this sort of thing, the objects in the environment reacting to your gunfire, seems pretty standard, and helps set the mood of the type of gaming experience you're in for. It adds to the atmosphere, making it feel even more like a big action movie shootout. Plus, some of the items are found within these objects, so fire away. While there's only 3 missions, the settings being as distinct as they are means they don't overlap much with each other. A big mansion with the restaurant nearby, featuring toppled over tables, doorway breaches, windows to fire through, and so on. Air Force One, an airplane, with very tight corridors, rows of seats, and some underbelly sections. And finally the jungle, with the village area, the jungle itself, the ruins, and a final boat chase while riding down a river. With the character models, they're all practically cardboard cutouts in motion. Hard to explain, but it's a surreal visual. It's like I'm in the arcade. There's a lack of blood, I assume since it was in the arcades and kids could walk by, making the knife scenes feel like we're watching 2 action figures battle it out. Personally, I'd introduce some ketchup to the action. That surely won't make my action figure super sticky and gross later. No way, no sir. Never had that experience in real life and had my mom yell at me for dumping condiments on my toys. The neck snap was also quite lame. Looks more like he gently caressed the terrorist's head and laid him down for a nap. The thermal vision looked great, but I was a little disappointed with the night vision. Looks like a green filter was slapped over the screen and that's about it. Kinda ugly, and I'd argue it didn't even help much. The voiceover and overall tone the game has is quite charming. It's not goofy enough for me to think it's trying to be so bad it's good, but it clearly is ridiculous. It was already funny when the terrorist joined me to build a fort under the table, but when I saw the terrorist bust through a wall, seemingly, to lie down in front of my character, I burst out laughing. These terrorists come from everywhere, good lord! It's actually kind of funny, it's an excuse to just fill the screen with enemy threats, so yeah, have them leaping into your vision, why not? Also, their guns are defective it looks like, they have to reload after every few rounds? Maybe that's why they're holding the president hostage, ransom money to afford better equipment? The arcade style, I'm going to shout all my dialogue, is present, and some of the line deliveries from the commander are great.
Lost Bravo and Charlie because of you! Report to me immediately when you return!
It's like he's hamming it up on purpose. Surely he got to read the sentence before he started reading it out loud, right? Why put the inflection on the word return and not immediately? Report to me immediately when you return, versus report to me immediately when you return. Genuinely, it's like he flipped a coin, or picked at random which words to add emphasis to in a sentence.
The president has been captured. The mission went wrong. What are you guys doing?
Here he doesn't even sound that upset that the president is captured and we failed. He sounds sort of confused and disappointed. Maybe he's just bummed our 2 golden boys didn't get a chance to do their patented handshake. They do it every successful mission, and on the Air Force One level, the president high-fives both of them.
Are you alright, Mr. President? You saved my life again. Thank you.
The main terrorist threats are all over-the-top bad guys, but the red-haired doofus, Zimone, is the funniest. It's as if he's aware that he's in a video game, like he knows the rules of the current encounter. In the final confrontation of the mission, it's a one-shot restriction. If you don't land a headshot on your first try, you fail. If you miss the shot, he then says this.
Ah, don't you know how to aim?
Oof, he knows how to hit me where I live. The best part about all of this is one of the first things you're told about Ghost Squad. You're the Ghost Squad, leave no trace behind.
Remember, you're the Ghost Squad. Don't leave any traces behind.
Well, apparently that translates to shoot up and wreck every location you stepped foot in, since we absolutely are not being stealthy at all about this. Maybe leave no trace behind in this context means leave no witnesses, a far more apt tagline for this adventure. You can unlock a ninja and a paradise mode, both changing the visuals and your gun for a more quirky themed time. You fire at bikini-clad women in paradise mode with the squirt gun, and fight off ninjas with throwing stars in ninja mode. It's not much, but it's sort of funny, I suppose. Overall, Ghost Squad for the Wii is a snappy rail shooter with a surprising amount of replayability. It's goofy fun, a great addition to the catalog of rail shooters for the console. If you haven't given it a go and like these types of games, and also have a Wii or a Wii U, I'd recommend it if you happen to find it cheap enough at a game shop. I got it for $10, well worth the purchase. Link's crossbow training was $15 by comparison. Honestly, I like that one too, sue me. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're wondering, I recently did a YouTube post asking people to pick 2 games from this list for me to cover, so I could thin out my games to review suggestions. Well, full disclosure, literally nobody picked Ghost Squad, it didn't get a single vote, but I was already playing it anyway for research for the upcoming Resident Evil Chronicle games, and I knew it wouldn't result in a super long video, so here you go, something extra. Thanks to my patrons who pay me to shoot the hostages over and over and never learn my lesson. That'll do it for me. Stay tuned for more Wii game reviews. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.